Hello everybody, what's up? This is E211. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be making my predictions for the NBA Cup, also known as the in-season tournament. We're at the quarterfinals of this tournament, and in about 2 weeks, almost exactly 2 weeks, we're going to find. I'm not sure what the finals on Tuesday, should win on the weekend, but anyways, we'll see who wins this tournament. It's a mini tournament, of course, not as big as the NBA Finals, not nearly as important as the NBA Finals, but it's still it counts for the games in the season, and therefore it's somewhat important. It's if we were to put this in, okay, how would I explain this? I'd say like in WWE terms, for example, this is like winning like the Speed Championship. You know that they have that new um, Twitter Championship. It's called WWE Speed, right? It's like it's even worse than the Intercontinental Championship because I would say this is like even a mid card thing. This is kind of even less important than that. A championship is a championship, though. It counts for the team's records, and therefore they need to win this. Um, it's like in soccer, for example, that finalissima. It's like international tournament. It doesn't really matter at all, but it counts as a tournament. So that's basically what this is. If you needed any explaining to be done, those are the best analogies I could think of. But anyways, I'm gonna keep this pretty short. How? Okay, we've gone about 125 so far. All right. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this under 5 minutes. Okay, we got the NBA standings pulled up over here just to see how each team is doing, and then all right, we got in the quarterfinal we got the Magic versus the Bucks, and let's go ahead and look at that match real quick. Standings wise, the Magic are doing better than the Bucks, but if you look at the way the Bucks are playing right now, I I mean they did just lose to the Hawks like today. I think that Giannis is playing really good basketball. He's playing like an MVP, and I feel like the Magic are just not as experienced. But then, with that being said, we gotta see if they've gone head to head yet. See, maybe that changes my mind. But okay, so if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's the first time the Bucks and Magic are facing this season. I'm gonna have to go ahead and say the Bucks are probably gonna win this. Um, all right, I gotta go back to that page real quick. There we go at NBA Cup. All right, so I'll say the Bucks win this, and I'm assuming they go ahead and face the other team from the East, whoever comes out of the Hawks and Knicks game. Then moving on to the Mavericks versus the Thunder. Okay, Mavericks and Thunder is going to be a close game for sure, no doubt about it. But I feel like Mavericks have been playing better basketball overall. If we look at the standings too, the standings are saying otherwise. But if you look at between the Mavericks and Thunder, it's a very close margin. It's only 2.5 games back, and when they went head to head, the Mavericks won. It was a very close game, but right here, it was a 2 point game. Mavericks won because PJ Washington turns into like prime Steph Curry or something. He does not miss a single shot, and then the way he's getting rebounds, the way he's playing defense, you would think this man is Michael Jordan or something. You would think this man's a GOAT, and I'm expecting a PJ Washington masterclass against the Thunder once again. But even then, I feel like the Mavericks they beat them in the playoffs last year, a pretty easy series for them overall in 6 games. They beat them in the head-to-head here, which I believe they did not have Luca with them. I gotta probably go back and check that real quick. Okay, we gotta. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Luka Doncic was not playing. Some people say Mavs are better without Luka. I don't. I'm not too sure about that. Luka's gonna be back, and that's gonna make this a much more advantageous matchup for the Mavericks. With that being said, Thunder do have a better record overall, standings wise. You can't count them out completely, but I gotta say Mavericks are winning this one. It's not necessarily gonna be too much of a challenge, um, but it's gonna be a close game though. All right, Hawks versus Knicks. Yeah, this is gonna be a close game as well. Knicks are actually doing pretty good this season. Um, where are they at? Okay, a fourth seed. So they've got a solid team this season, and the Hawks are they're weird. All right, they lost to the Wizards. I'm pretty sure the only two teams that the Wizards have beat are the Hawks and the Hawks again. No, I might be wrong about that. Okay, so it seems I'm wrong. I saw someone comment that on Instagram, so that's where I got that from. Let's see who the Wizards have been. In fact, I'm just curious, real quick, to see who it was. Okay, the Wizards have beat the Hawks and the Hawks. You see, It was two times in the regular season. Okay, okay, on a back to back. Yeah. So the Hawks are the team that the Wizards have beat, but the Hawks have also beat the Bucks. They just beat them in the in season tournament. They also ended up beating them today, like right now as I'm speaking. So Hawks also beat the Celtics, defending champions, not of this NBA Cup, but of the actual big NBA Finals. So because of that, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that maybe the Hawks might actually be wait, let me pull it up. They might actually beat the Knicks and move on. So I'm gonna say the Hawks do move on. Hawks and Bucks is what I see happening. Plus we know Trey Young owns the Knicks. There's no doubting that. Now let's move on to the Rockets versus Warriors. Okay, I went over 5 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep it under 10 minutes. All right. Rockets versus Warriors. I think Rockets are doing very good this season. In fact, they're the second seed, and Warriors are seventh seed. But Warriors haven't been playing amazing as of recent. They've been blowing leads and stuff. Who did they face just recently? The Nuggets. Okay, so we'll see what happens tomorrow, and we can kind of make an inference as to what's going to happen on Wednesday, December 11th for that. But let's see if they faced off before. Okay, they have, and it went to overtime. Warriors won. So I am still sticking with the Warriors here. I mean, I think it's going to be a close game for sure. So the Rockets, Rockets are playing solid basketball. But this is a somewhat tournament. They get paid for this bonuses and stuff. So I think the teams are gonna want to ball out a bit more. And I think Steph Curry, honestly, if he starts going, it's gonna be hard for you to stop that. With that said, the Rockets are a very good team. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rockets do end up winning. But just looking at their head-to-head record as of this season, I would still have to go ahead and favor the Warriors here. So we're gonna go ahead and see Bucks versus Hawks, Mavericks versus Warriors. Let's go and start off with the Bucks versus Hawks. So I I don't know, man. The Hawks have beat the Bucks twice, so we gotta go ahead and look at it real quick. Yeah, they beat them here, and then they beat them. Did they not face them in the tournament? Okay, am I tripping or what? Man, I could have sworn. Oh no, the Hawks beat the Cavaliers. Okay, that's my fault. Either way, the Bucks just lost to the Hawks today. Uh, doesn't change my mind. I still think the Bucks are probably gonna win that because when you think about it, it's the Bucks are playing very good. They're balling out this season. Hawks aren't doing too bad either, but they're literally 500. They're literally 500 on the dot, as are the Hawks, and it's they've also played a few less games. But I just think that honestly, so what was the score today? Okay, it was a blowout, but did we have Giannis playing? Okay, we did have Giannis playing, and he balled out. So did Dame. Chris Middleton wasn't back, but Chris Middleton will be back by the time that the final at least happens or the semifinals happen. I'm pretty sure Chris Middleton will be back by then, according to someone on Instagram in the comments. So I might be wrong, but I think the Bucks are either way. They're playing good. They're playing better overall. I think that once again there's somewhat motivation to play better basketball here than in a regular season game, and that's why I would go ahead and I would say Bucks are probably going to win it. It's going to be close for sure, and Hawks are very unpredictable. They're beating all the big teams. They're losing to all the small teams. And if they weren't inconsistent, I feel like they would have one of the better records in the NBA. But I gotta go with the Bucks here. Now we got Mavericks versus the Warriors, and this is gonna be a close game as well because when we look at the head-to-head, a very very intense and close game. But the Warriors did pull through. I just think that the Mavericks are a very deep team as of right now. They are 9-1, and so are the Bucks actually. Well, Bucks are not 9-1 anymore because they decided to lose today. But if we look at the last 10, okay, so they have a seven game winning streak. I feel like they might have forgotten to update that because the Bucks just lost today. But they were on a 7 game winning streak. Mavericks were on a 5 game winning streak. We look at their last 10, 9-1 until the Hawks were in that. And then we look at Mavericks last 10, they're 9-1 as well. And so they're playing very good basketball. They came back from the leads, and we know Warriors are blowing leads like crazy as of recent. I'm gonna have to go ahead and go with the Mavericks here. Mavericks and Bucks is gonna be a good final. It's gonna be a good match, but we have to see if they faced face to face before. Hmm. Okay, Mavericks and Bucks have not faced in a head to head in the actual regular season. So because of that, I'm gonna say it's we gotta just analyze this matchup real quick. I gotta see. I said it was gonna be under 10 minutes, and I didn't do 10 minutes. All right, it's fine, it's fine. Okay. Anyways, so I'm gonna analyze this match real quick. We got the Mavericks sitting at a 14-8 record, and we got the Bucks sitting at 11-9. So 0.550 and 636. Mavericks are a bit better of a team when you think about it. Let's see. They both got similar win streaks. They both have similar last 10 records. Of course, that's not been updated, but doesn't change. One loss doesn't change anything. Um, Overall, I think that the Bucks they have a better team when you think about it. Just on paper, I feel like it's gonna be very hard to guard Giannis. I'm not sure who exactly is gonna be able to stop Giannis Antetokounmpo. But you see, it's being done. If he's not getting stopped, the rest of the team is, and because Giannis is playing at an MVP level, both sides of the floor, on offense and on defense. But then we got the rest of the team is kind of getting locked up. That's what happened with the Hawks game today. Um, because if you look at this over here, so again, look at Giannis' stats: 31 points, 11 rebounds. Damian Lillard is also balling out, 25 points. Um, but the rest of the team is not really doing much. I mean, look at the rest of this team. The third highest point tally here was 11 points by Gary Trent, then Gary Trent Jr. So, and he played 31 minutes. So the Hawks were limiting them while also being able to score somewhat. Look, a lot of players had over 10 here. And we had this guy, Jalen Johnson, with 23, Trey with 17, um, this guy, Zachary, I'm not sure I say his last name, 12, DeAndre Hunter with 20, um, Bogdanovich with 15, Onyeka Okongwu with 13, and all in a reasonable amount of minutes, right? Meanwhile, we look at this. It's a bit unreasonable, but still 11. And then over here, this is all right, pretty reasonable. But they only had four guys scoring in double digits. Everybody else at the most had 6 points, and that's why they lost by a good margin. 15 points is a very big margin. So, the Hawks just basically dominated them, and this is their A team coming out here. But what I have to say is Brook Lopez is a good shooter. Giannis Antetokounmpo is shooting very well. He's learned how to shoot mid range now. His mid range game is insane. I just don't see anybody on the Mavericks who's going to be able to stop them. But with that being okay, we gotta now let's go to the most recent game of the Mavericks, and let's judge from that. They came down from 15-0. They were losing 15 points, right? They came back. So Mavericks have shooting and scoring on their side. Offensively, the Mavericks are a much better team. Even defense is not bad. I just Derek Lively might be able to. Gafford might be able to not stop Giannis, of course, but limit him a bit. It's just the fact that Giannis is now comfortably shooting his shot. I think Damian Lillard won't be too much of a problem either. I feel like um, they've got they've got guys like PJ Washington. They got guys like Clay who will be able to stop that on the perimeter defense. Luca and Kyrie will have one job only, and that's to score. As we see here, Kyrie did not do that last game, and they still won because they've got a lot of people who can score when someone has a bad game, right? I mean, look at this. Let's look at the Mavericks real quick. You look at all their players. They had one, two, three, four, five, six players scoring double digits here, and almost triple double by PJ Washington. A almost triple double besides a double double at least by Luca. No triple double there. It wasn't close because of assists. We got Derek Lively who's also balling out here double double. We got Clay was not doing very good. Spencer Dinwiddie came in clutch at the end. Insane. Very good minutes to points ratio. Um, Daniel Gafford, same thing here. Very good points and minutes to points ratio. So everybody out here was doing something. They had some role on in this match, right? And look at that, 18-point differential in the fourth quarter. Now we do gotta look at the fact that the free throws. Now here's the thing: Memphis was fouling a lot, and Mavericks also missed a lot of the free throws. So Mavericks didn't play amazing ball here. Don't let the stat sheet fool you. They shouldn't have lost this. They shouldn't have even had this game be close, despite the fact that Grizzlies are a good team. But if I had to go with one team here, I'd probably go and say that the Mavericks are going to be runner-ups again. Bucks are probably going to win this tournament. Um, it doesn't matter too much who wins. Honestly, it's not a real important tournament, but it still does matter a bit. It's again, it's adding to your case for MVP. I'm pretty sure they would look at this somewhat and be like, you know what, that's something we got to look at. And you got MVP candidates on both teams here. In fact, you got MVP candidates on every single team in the quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken. We gotta go ahead and look at that real quick. Like MVP candidates has not MVP caliber guys, but people who are actually contending to win the MVP this season. Okay, let's look at the standings. Okay, so we got Giannis is in contention for MVP. Luca's in contention for MVP. Shea, he's there too. Steph was at the start of the season, not anymore. Ever since the Warriors have started losing games, how many have they lost? Five losses in a row. Before that, the Warriors were 12-3. They were on top of the league. They were on top of the table, and everyone was like, you know what, Steph Curry for MVP. So I mean, they've got a lot of MVP caliber people here. I feel like it could help the case to win this little tournament, and plus they're making a bonus here. I'm not sure how much of the bonus it is, but they're making a lot of money from winning this tournament too. So my prediction is that the Bucks are probably going to win this against the Mavericks in the final, but it it could go either way. Honestly, any of these teams could win. That's the thing about basketball, you know. Any team can beat any team. That's why we saw the 73-9 Warriors lose the finals after blowing a 3-1 lead. So any team can beat any team in basketball. It just depends on whose day it is, whose day it's not, and it also depends on obviously the skill levels of each team. But that's not to say that a bad team, like the worst team in the league, can't beat the best team in the league on some days. It's possible for sure, but when they're here playing for an extra money bonus too, so that's something they gotta play for. The tournament itself, it is a tournament, it is a trophy. It's so that's another motivation to play. Whether anyone really thinks this trophy means anything or not doesn't matter. Fact of the matter, it is a trophy, and that's gonna, I think, influence their play a bit, and then the fact that they're going to be getting a payday if they win this. So yeah, but I'm gonna have to go say Bucks and Mavericks are probably going to be in the final, but I could see any team here win. Let me know your predictions down in the comments. I'm not sure if they have an MVP award for this tournament, but let me know who you think is going to be the best player in this entire thing. If I had to put my money on somebody, I would probably put it on Giannis Antetokounmpo. Um, I would not bet on Luca being the best player here. I think it's gonna be very close between Luca and Giannis, but I would probably have to go with Giannis here. Let me know what you guys think though. And I said I was gonna keep it under 5 minutes. I'm at 17 minutes, man. Uh, how dumb of a person I am, bro. Anyway, so that's it for this video. Um, hope you like it, and let me know down in the comments below your predictions on this. I'll see you guys next time.